It's just work. We're trying not to take it too seriously.
But really, it is your career and you need to take ownership of it. So yeah, daycare, like there's something when you talked about. By the way, first of all, that was really, really so many valuable pieces you mentioned there. But as we are speaking around, you know how you're going to join a team and they now want to just change everything.
Yeah.
You just made me remember one of my managers who joined our team, and like she will go for a meeting, and like when it's just like we're walking him through, or this is how we do it, blah blah blah, and you're even giving him reasoning behind, because and that's what people forget. Like there's context, everything.
Yeah.
They're
not crazy.
They're not crazy. You don't sit down, wake up one morning and say to do things this way. You know how they say some people are called, like you don't want to lose them because they have institutional knowledge.
Yeah.
Like there are certain background. There's a story to it. Don't just come and he just will say, "Oh, this is trash. Oh, this is rubbish." Like you even package it and say, maybe even internalize it. And I'm like, oh, maybe this is some of these. That moment it should be a time for you to, as that you're going through that onboarding or learning the things, be noting where the gaps are, and okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. And even have it as you already identify. You should rather turn it into having your quick win document.
Yeah.
Where by the time you've gone through all of that, spoken to everybody, your team, understood certain things, you now go and like say your quick wins. Trust me, when you make that thing, the impact will be loud. Like everyone, no, this person has truly done great stuff. You just go there and now go and change everything.
Yeah. Because sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
You don't have
you
to
just
do
have
it.
to oil it.
Exactly.
But you're not going to oil the wheel if you're not even willing to listen to people.
It's
trash. What's trash?
Literally, trash. You're not even finishing it.
It's trash.
Sometimes they can even as simple as just changing the templates. I've actually had wins like by just what was existing. No, I kid you not.
Moved it around.
Moved there another color. Yeah. And became, oh wow. Usually it's the same for me by using now. That's it. So that was really good. Daycare. Like it just made me remember that time. The other part, we'll say in terms of just managing, welcoming and surviving the jungle in your first 90 days, is around gaining respect without acting like a bossy dictator. This can be very tricky. Truly, can be very tricky because they kind of talking about the fact that it's like you're not like you're trying to make friends or anything. But you want to make sure that you are, your number one, your authority is respected and your team members understand that. So clear who leads the team or who the boss is or something of that sort. And they know, and they understand the chain of command as it comes to that. And you have a role to play in that. Not leaving it, fine, you can want to operate a flat structure. So maybe somebody can anyone on the team can come and meet you and everything. But you don't want to also make that that can come with its bad side if you are not, what's the word now? Fast social where it's now like, oh yeah, it's okay. What do you think? Oh yeah, you can make decision. It's okay. Like hello, you have to be the one to, you have to be the one to call the shot and make it seem like, okay, yes, I value your thinking, I value your input. You are now making sure as to say, okay, let's go with that and maybe make this. Let's do it this way. But I value that. Don't just make it seem like, oh, go, yes, go and do it. It's your what? It's
up to you.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
it's not up to them.
Yeah.
So that you have to really, really be, it's a very fine balance or thin line. In that.
But I was just going to add, I completely agree. There is a place for leniency, and then there is are you being lenient or are you just being slack or lax or whatever the word is? And you don't want to be that manager that is just lax or slack.
Exactly.
You can be lenient, but at the end of the day, someone is responsible for decision making.
Exactly.
Right.
And that should be clear.
Yeah. It's not like it's up to you. I'm sure. Like everything goes with you. No.
Yeah. You need to be able to do that. And I think another thing in terms of how to earning your credibility. So one of the things, by the way, I just talked about earning your credibility. Second thing will be around difference between demanding respect and commanding it through actions. You don't need to go in there and say, I'm your boss. Everybody reports to me. I call the show. Of course, I'm sure you won't do that, but I know some people will be like that.
Do that. Yeah.
I say, yeah. And then when you get to everybody's just scampering. Oh, they're already, in shape, quiet. Nobody's talking. No, you don't need that. Trust me, you've lost the trust already. You've not even gained loyalty in that kind of scenario. You don't want to be that kind of person. But I think what I'm just trying to bring here is that your actions should already, how you act already, would get people to just respect you. Like, and it starts with the little things, how you own your work ethics, your how you show up on a daily basis, right? You're not a slacky person, you're not sloppy. Where your team members are not sending things to you and it's taking weeks for you to review. Hello? Like, that's not, you won't gain respect by that, because they will now think that, oh, he's not going to review it, so I can as well send it to him much later. No, you don't want to do that. You should be someone who you set up a meeting and you're maybe joining 15 minutes because you're the boss. They will not respect you. They will end up also doing the same thing. So you need to, how you show up really matters. And as they see you, what they see you do is what also translates into how they also show up as well. So it's very important that you're not going to go, it's through your actions you're able to actually command that respect, and you just naturally, you see your team gravitating towards that as well. I think another thing as well would be also how you handle team members who question your authority. Now, I know many people, I think we probably want to, she will share a bit more around this. Now, that can be tricky. And it really does take wisdom. And you see, I've left my phone, everything, because I know I feel like I've been in this kind of scenario before. And if I just even more recently, I heard someone actually called me. Maybe I should start from that. Someone actually called me. She works here. She just joined a team here, managing a team here, and she.
What do you mean by managing a team here?
Sorry, she leads the HR team. Is it HR? She leads the HR team, or the function or something. I think for the office, within here in Canada. And she, of course, she met a team there, so she was like, she joined and all. And there are two members of the team. Who one person is way older, like this person in her 60s. The woman is in her 60s and has been there for, I think, said about 30 years. Like, wow, you can imagine that already.
Wow.
And then there's another guy who, I don't even know for how long a person has been on the team, but also he has, he's also been on the team for so long and all of that. And she joined, of course, she met, oh my God, huge resistance. Unfortunately, when she joined, one of the first tasks, like Likem said, and maybe in hindsight, maybe that's how she should have handled it, but one of the first tasks they gave her was she had to fire.
Wow.
So even around the organization, like, it was almost like you just came and everybody. So she didn't even. It's almost like the landing both within her team and then the organization wasn't a great start. And she met huge resistance. And she called me that day. She just asked around, like, just like, what can she do? Like, she's just like, it's obvious that she doesn't have that trust. Like, they're saying things about her behind her back. That even someone within the organization came to tell her that you should watch your back. Your team members don't like you. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Like, tell me about, from bass balls, or, from one thing to chaos to the other, right? Bass balls is like chaos, something of that sort. But yeah, like chaos from one chaos to the other. I think what I told her was, number one, it takes wisdom. First of all, like wisdom, and I won't even say just wisdom for the sake of it, like wisdom from God to start with. I was like, have you prayed about this? First of all, she said, oh yeah. And I said, no, you need to really pray about, not just praying, God, give me, like, spend some time with God and ask Him for the strategy you need for this season. So I felt what came from that angle. First of all, like, you needed to pray about it. But another thing I told her, and because I also like to hear your thoughts around just managing this. Another thing I told her was, what's the word now? You need to get them to be involved in things that have to do with the going forward of the organization or the unit. Well, coming up with strategy together, not just solo. Like, involve them and get them to own certain aspects of it. So she had mentioned a couple of things where, like, this is what her boss told her to do, and she had to do it. And I said, fine, yes, maybe that's what you need to do, but don't just go and then just, roll it out on your own.
Yeah.
Get them involved. Seek their input. And once you get that, like, once you saw their input and maybe come up with the strategy together and then assign tasks to them. Like, let's be that collectively we are the ones, getting this thing done. That way as well, you're also getting like, oh, like, how do you think, like, how have you done this before? You're asking them for how things have been done before, that it makes them still feel relevant and valuable, and you'll see them be more interested in helping you succeed. So I feel that's where you need to, don't discredit their years in the system. If instead you need them as your ally, so to speak, like, get to understand, okay, like, have you expressed something like this in the past before? How did you go about it? You know, you may even know what you want to do in your heart, but just for the sake of making them feel relevant, like you just see, you need to make them. No, it's true. Because am I speaking off point here?
No, you are not, and it's called diplomacy.
It's diplomacy. You need to involve them, like make them feel, and then not get them to champion certain things that will put them in that spotlight and continue to make them feel relevant. Give them a role that will make them continue to, you know, relate with leaders, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Make them feel relevant. There's a Yoruba adage, but it's not coming now, but almost like something around a madman and making the madman feel like he's the oga, like he's the boss. Oh, anyway.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, I can't get it. Please, if any of you know the adage, you can please type in the comments and help my Yoruba here. But my point is that you need to make them feel like that, you know, like you need their input. Oh, you're the most important person here. Like, I need to hear from you. You trust them, you continue to gain that, and in your heart, you'll not even do anything and tell you know what you're going to do, but at least you've gotten their input. Like, what do you think about handling that?
No, I think diplomacy, I'm trying to remember. So there's certain things that, like certain traits that I think managers should have. One is diplomacy, emotional intelligence, which is, you know, tied to diplomacy, humility.
Yes.
You can't see, if you're going to be a manager that succeeds, you can't really be prideful. People will question your authority. You can't just put up a wall of defense, you know, and shut them down. You have to accommodate their questions, and then sort of dispel it, right? For instance, like people ask you, okay, how did we arrive at this decision?
Yes.
And it can be so annoying because you're like, in your mind, you're like,
who are you to question?
Like, how dare you? Who are you?
Yes.
You know, but you can't say that. You have to have the humility to accept that you can, should, and will be questioned. Right? And don't see it as an affront. Like, who are you to question me? Don't see it as an affront. See it as, like, always approach things with the mindset that there is no malice involved. Meaning this person asking me, how did you arrive at this decision, is not asking me to be malicious. Perhaps he just wants to understand the thinking behind it. And so it is absolutely okay to respond to that person respectfully. Now, there's a difference between questioning your authority and challenging your authority. Now, you see those ones that come to challenge your authority, you should shut them down.
Oh, shut it, right away. Don't let it simmer.
Yes.
Like, immediately close it.
Literally put them in their place. Right? Because those are the ones who want to undermine you. Those are the ones who are looking for errors, right, to undermine you and to make you feel a certain type of way. But if people are questioning your authority in terms of trying to find out why certain things are the way they are, don't assume malice. Answer their question. Like I said, humility, diplomacy, emotional intelligence are three key things. So like Bukola said, you know, depending on the context and situation, sometimes it's just pretense. You're just pretending through it just to make people feel carried along, make people feel important. It is not a bad thing. It's diplomacy. It's why politicians are so successful. They have learned the art of diplomacy, making people feel like they are more than they are. It's okay. Do you know how many times I have to bite my tongue through a conversation? Because sometimes I just want to say, are you for real? Like, can you buzz off, please? But I'm literally just biting my tongue to get through it. And I'm like, okay. You know, we'll consider that and we'll get back to you. It makes the people feel like you have heard them, you're taking it in, blah, blah, blah. You still do what needs to be done. So, you know, handling team members who question your authority is, I would say, just be diplomatic, be emotionally intelligent, read the room. Like, when people are complaining deeply about something that has maybe festered for long in the organization, it's not the time to just dismiss them, right? So read the room, be diplomatic, be humble. Sometimes people actually don't have any malicious intent toward you. Does that answer your question?
No, it does. No, and I think you pretty much wrapped it up. I think without overflowing it, I know many people have either had an experience around this or experiencing it, and just because I've literally had someone call me a couple weeks back to mention, I know it's a real thing. So I just want us to just dwell a bit more there. I hope some of this we mentioned helps.
I hope so.
I really hope it helps. Before we wrap up here, so they can want us to just like outline key milestones, so to speak, that to help a new manager or someone heading a new team, like to look forward to within their first 90 days. So what should first 30 days look like? What should first 6 days look like?
Okay. So what is your first 90-day playbook, right? You become a new manager. What are the things you should work on in your first 90 days? I'll take the first 30 days. Even our Lord God of hosts did things sequentially. He came, he saw there was darkness. It's not in that darkness that he created man. He didn't start looking for clay in the darkness. What was the first thing God did? Let there be lights. Let's even see road.
Let's even see what we're dealing with here.
What we're dealing with. Even our Lord God of hosts did not rush into making all the changes day one. Why should you? Who are you that day one you want to start making changes? Your first 90 days, you should focus on observing. You want to know who these team members are. You want to really understand what it is they do in detail. The second is listening. Your first 90 days is when you want to have conversations with people. You want to listen. What's been working? What has really worked up until this point? What's not working? Where are the areas where we need to make changes? I promise you, a lot of times the answers are in the team. People have the answers. So observe, listen, learn. You are soaking your first 30 days. You should be soaking in things like a sponge. You're just soaking in. You're learning. You're listening. You are observing. New managers, your first 30 days is not the period for you to make any changes. You're too new. You are too fresh. It's too premature for you to start making changes. What do you know, for crying out loud? Sometimes, like the example Bukola gave, you're brought in and you're told, restructure the team. You have to let go of 40% of the team, blah, blah, blah. It will be premature for you to go ahead in your first 30 days to make those changes. You will make mistakes that will come back to bite you. First 60 days?
No, that's like, I was just, it was just playing back so many memories, but absolutely they came. I think for first 60 days, it will be, it's a time for you to really integrate. So after you've listened, you observed, you've learned, taking your notes, like, okay, you've seen opportunities where you need to make some changes. Now it's to integrate. So it's really, now start by making those small, not big changes that will just like shake everywhere and everybody's like, what's going on here? Small changes, like
the template change,
like a template change, for example, that I mentioned before, like something as small as that. Just identify that they're definitely like low hanging fruit. You would know what those things are. So just make those small changes here and there, and all of that. And I think that's where you can, and that will just help you continue to, as you're settling in, understanding the team, making those small changes and everything. I think those changes now should be try to also target 2 ways now. Target it the ones that would make the most impact on your key stakeholders. And consider that your key stakeholders are not just your leaders, but their employees. Well, let me say employees now, but maybe in HR context, say key stakeholders, leaders, employees, your team. They're also part of your stakeholders. So look for those things that would have the huge impact, the biggest impact on your key stakeholders, and make those changes. Because again, it's also you don't want to just be, well, they say that thing around, but it's something, you're just digging like something that doesn't matter, you're just making a change, doesn't, in the grand scheme of things,
cosmetic change.
Like how does this even affect any other thing? Like, we don't, why are you spending effort on something that is not even important right now? Petty things. So that's why you have to be strategic in those change, in that change that you're trying to, like, you're making. So look at those things and see the one that has the biggest impact. If I need to draw, like, you need to draw the priority, the urgent versus important, charts. so that you know, okay, and actually plot it. You may have to go. You actually may have to do that. Plot it. Okay, if I do this one now, okay, urgent and important. Definitely, you know that's the one you need to go for. After you've mapped it against your key stakeholders, and then you know you have to, and then you cannot start going, that way until you get to the less important, less urgent.
Yeah.
So don't just do it for the sake of something that will not even make any, like, your leaders or stakeholders cannot even see what you've done, and they're wondering that you spent 60 days. What's going on? We're not seeing anything. Are you here?
Yeah.
So you need to be very strategic about it.
Yeah.
The last 90 days, or first 30 days, or last 30 days.
The last 30 days. I mean, you have learned, you have observed, you understand to an extent the company culture, what the company does. So in your last 30 days within the 90-day framework, you can then start making some, clear strategic changes, and set the tone for the team.
Yeah, very key.
Right? It's in this stretch that people know the type of leader you are, what you're trying to achieve. People know, okay, this person listens, but this person is assertive, or you're a bubblehead. Whatever it is. But it's that's when you start having these team meetings and setting a clear term what you want to achieve, right? You start having those sort of intimate conversations with your team members, letting them know what you've observed in terms of their areas of strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I'm hoping you've done your SWOT analysis.
Yes.
But yeah, this is when you then set the tone to say, okay, now I am inducted, I'm initiated, and this is what we're going to achieve for the rest of the year and things like that. And then you can start sort of recommending changes to be made, recommending initiatives to be rolled out, not necessarily in that 30-day stretch, but looking ahead, looking forward, and then implementing those changes. But the last thing I would say here is, as a manager, don't be too married to certain things, right? So when you have made decisions or you're rolling out an initiative, if it's not working, if you realize it's not working, don't be married to it.
Okay,
that's what I mean. Don't say, oh, we spent a lot of time creating the strategy, we've invested whatever. If something isn't working, the smart thing to do is say, what are the changes? What changes can we make what changes can we make to get this initiative to work?
Yeah.
There's a popular saying, if you get on a train and you're going the wrong way, the best time to get off is at the next stop. Don't say, oh, I'm already going the wrong way. Let's get to the final destination. No, get down at the next stop. It's easier for you to make the change. It's easier for you to turn back and get to your correct destination from there than going all the way the wrong direction. And then, do you get what I mean? So don't be too married to your decisions as or initiatives as a manager, especially if it's not working. Of course, if it's working, keep fanning it and going and whatnot. But if it's not working, remember what we said: diplomacy, emotional intelligence, and humility. I just realizing, okay, damn, it's not working. I'm humble enough to eat the humble pie, and let's go back and make certain changes. So I'll say this should be what the 90-day playbook should look like. And what else?
No, if I like, number one, I'm glad we're doing this series. I just feel there's just so much coming.
There is so much.
There's so much. I'm not even sure we're able to cover everything, even in all of the series or episodes. But there's so much here, and I think we've said quite a bit that I feel can be very helpful. There was something I remember. I don't know if it ties to anything we said yesterday at all, but maybe it may actually tie. But you should be careful as well not to discredit the work that has been done before.
Yes.
It's don't. Actually, so this had actually also happened if it's if you got promoted within role and you had a previous person there in that way, like don't just say, oh, I did, like how this person was doing before was just was total rubbish, or the person was not competent or something of that sort. No, you don't want to discredit the work.
Even if you think it, please do not say it.
Don't say it. Like
do
don't
not
say it.
It's so disrespectful.
Yes.
And it tells very poorly on you.
Yeah. And one other thing I would just add, maybe to just wrap up, is you see that thing around your team members within 90 days will know the kind of person that you are. You also want to make sure that you show up, like improve your capability and competence levels as well. I get that you may, and of course, I don't think everybody knows A to Z when they just take on a new manager role or start taking on a new role, leading a team. There are still parts that you need to develop and all of that. Because that 90 days as well, your team members can as much as smell or sniff that this person is not competent.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's almost like a downhill from there.
Yeah.
And it can also impact trust, your credibility, and things like that. So you want to make sure that within those 90 days, because you'll still be doing stuff while you're learning of these things, maybe you're reviewing stuff. Make sure that when they see your review, like the next time, they're like, okay, this person knows what he or she is doing. So you also need to be devoted in some way to your own kind of self-development at that point.
Yeah.
Learn as much as possible because you want to establish that level of credibility and competence within those first 90 days.
I hear Bukola,
right?
But I don't want you to be fixated on it.
Okay, yes, okay.
There is something that has gotten you to that position. Whether they see it or not is their business.
Well,
right? I don't want you to. It's important. Please do not discredit that. I also think that's important, but I don't think you should be fixated on, like proving your worth, proving your competence. Just go about your work. There's a reason why you've gotten into this position. Go about that. It will show up. It will be evident that you are competent. It will be evident that you know what you're doing, right? Because if you're fixated on, trying to prove, then you start like scattering things. Someone sends you a document and then you're like, you want to make all these changes. So they're like, but if the document is already good enough, then what are you really changing? Do you understand? So please do not. I hope this has not been taken out of out of context.
No, I like the balance you brought to it. I think it's a very fine balance. Like it's a fine balance. Like both sides, because you can do it too much as well. And then now just I like that. I like that for sure.
Managing people isn't easy. It's very difficult. People are difficult. Sometimes people look at the HR people and they're like, "Oh, this is something." Yeah, hiring and firing.
Anyone that says that in the game, don't even try it. Don't try it.
People management is tough work. It's difficult work. We do wish you the best. We hope that you grow as a manager. You learn from your mistakes. There is no manager. It's like battle scars, right? You aren't without mistakes as a manager. But the important thing is, how do I learn and grow through it and make sure that I'm not repeating the same mistakes over and again. And we do wish you well. As usual, if you have questions, please reach out via email or our question form or whatever. But thanks. That's it from me.
Thanks. I was going to say that at the beginning, but congratulations on becoming manager.
Congratulations.
Huge congratulations. Trust me, nothing beats this opportunity that you've gotten. I think it's an incredible opportunity for you to make an impact. So don't take it lightly. If you like this video, please share, subscribe. You already know what to do now, so just do it. Until next time,
peace out.